Man, what you watching? Some old YouTube videos? Sounds like
Oh,
nothing
dude.
limited.
I bought one of them T55s. I got it sitting here in the living room.
You got it rolling there? God dang, that thing
Here
cranked
she
up a little
is.
faster than I'm used to. Oh man, that's good times. What a good way to get people talking, that old
Right?
post we did, get people fired up. I feel like that's just what we've been doing here lately. Is just getting people fired up, doing things. We got Bob talking about propellers. We got actual rule proposals we put in. And we're just getting stuff done. What do you guys think?
I think there's one thing that's guaranteed. It's that boat racing or controversy will get people participating in the boat racing world.
Yep, no doubt there.
Whether it means actually participating on the course or just talking, something controversial will get them going.
Always.
So what we have before we get into all that, I mean, we got a ton of tech. I know a lot of people gonna be on here watching to see what we got to say about them heads. Might get suspended, but let somebody that's not a member talk.
Yeah,
I'll be on later. But what happened down under? We saw Duff and the Ty were down there. Had some struggles that first week we talked about last week. But what'd you see this weekend? And I know you did a lot of watching.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not the way that Duff wanted to go out with the bad boat challenge. My understanding was they hit. I saw one that said a submerged I-beam and then one that said a stump. Either way, messed up the cavitation plate. My understanding was they repaired it, but then went out again, and I think ultimately determined it wasn't safe to drive and had to withdraw. So obviously that sucks, but damn, that boat's fast, man. I think it's tough for him and Ty with that style haul to drive through the field there on those courses. But if they get out front early, especially on that second course, I don't know that anybody was reeling them in.
Yeah,
but there were some fast boats over there, man.
A little bit bigger course definitely helped them, but yeah, I think it's what was it Madness that won or Marland that won? That
was Madness.
Wicked fast. And I mean, just seeing the different power plants in those boats were pretty cool. I'll try to pull up some of the videos.
I had never really appreciated how big their flat bottoms, quote unquote, were over there. Because I never seen them that same thing that we run over here. Seeing how big like Madness and Outlaw were, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I forget how many years ago it was that they got brought over here, the Evercraft boats, because they were pumping them out there for a while, building a lot of different boats. I was surprised that they'd never kind of took off over here. I don't know if we're just too traditional, kind of like we are in inboard Jersey skiffs and all those you can't change, but I mean, those boats are cool, and I feel like they can run in a lot different conditions than we can.
Yeah. I think to make them worth it, you got to run the type of courses they do. Like, I mean, even a Valley field over here is probably Valley for turn 2 is probably reasonable for them, but I feel like one, you're probably still not even really using that hull for what it's really designed for, to roll up on its side and kind of zip around the turn the way they did. Then you get to like a Cambridge turn 2 and you can just take the rudder off those things.
Yeah, no doubt. Here, we'll show custom screen going over here.
But you could pretty much do one of their courses anywhere here.
Yeah, this was the winner, Troy Marland.
I think sweet, man.
Yeah, they were all purpose built for the capsule. So like when we had Drawn Mike here on the podcast ago, Britain on talked about how the cockpits kind of change balance and all that.
Yeah.
People aren't used to that.
Yeah.
But these were all purpose built for it. So we got to find some better videos of some of their starts.
The boys
are crazy flying down in that turn.
Yeah. Dude, there's a couple too. I think it was the first course where they were like, they take like a weird line for the start. And there were a couple guys that came flying up and realized, oh shit, if I keep going straight, I'm going to run into trees. And you see them like dart over to the left behind the rest of the field. And it's like, they do not have a lot of room over there.
Yeah. Well, we had the one Hydro end up in the trees last year.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah. Yep. I tell you what, so we talk about, and I feel like this was a big talk for us last year and pushed on that marketing committee of like dramatize our point series, especially in HRL. I mean, look, 350s went down to the wire. This video right here is what we need to use as like this is what we got to do. I mean, APPA can even do this thing. I think it's this one.
In 2026, a champion will be crowned. 3 nations, 1 stretch of water, 1 chance to make history. From across the ocean, America, New Zealand. They come for Australia, the home of the baddest blown alcohol displacement boats on the planet. This isn't just racing. This is an all-in showdown where raw horsepower meets absolute commitment. And for one final time, a legend returns. Duff Daly, USA vs Australia 2016 champion. A name carved into bad boat history. This is his last run, his final hurrah. One more shot at the title. Will he do it again?
So cool.
Or will the next generation take everything? Nations collide, pride is on the line. There are no do-overs. 2026 USA and New Zealand versus Australia Bad Boat Challenge. Be there. Be there when the flag drops and
There's your start
history
video, Brandon.
is decided. Because every moment matters.
Yeah, it's a cool video.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like got you pumped up, added the drama to it of what's going on. Obviously, playing in with Duff's last hurrah. That I mean, just did everything right in that one little video.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool what they were doing, but I mean, it's crazy what they do. I mean, that racing, what, 6 feet off the shoreline? I don't
sent you
think
guys
I'd
that
have the
video.
yeah.
The one where he just shot right, dude. There's people standing in the water holding boats right there.
Yeah, I don't know,
I was
man.
freaked out.
You think you're running 150 or whatever they're running mile per hour down that straightaway, and you're like, man, I don't know about this.
How do you think Ty felt corkscrewing through the air watching the shore?
Right, headed straight there to the shoreline.
Ugh. Yeah. It's cool though. I mean, that's especially both those courses. I didn't see like a real like overhead picture, but it seemed like there was a lot of like open hillside or bank down to the water for people to watch. It's a cool. It's almost like a built-in stadium in a way.
Yeah, they obviously had fans to do like the whole pace boat thing and like, or not pace boat starts, but like to pull the boats with the drivers in them, waving to the crowd. I always love when we did that at Valleyfield before the GP final. It's cool for the fans to see who's getting in them boats, and I think it's well worth the time that it takes. I think they should do it for every class leading up to the finals. Like, take that break and bring the class out on a rescue boat or something. It's really cool, the parade laps like that.
I agree. The ones in the hydro sim were always fun when we had like 40 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys would.
People
I think they were both down in San Diego testing last year, weren't they? Duff and Ty before they went over there.
I think so.
Kyle Martin just mentioned that.
Yep, I think so.
So, do you know is Dustin going to continue to drive that boat now that Duff's stepping out of it?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that. If he would or not. I did see that he was down there in Australia with his dad, him and his wife, kid, and all that stuff. So
yeah, they had a crew.
I don't know how much longer. I know that the military keeps him away from racing a lot of times, but
yeah,
obviously when he does drive the SE or SA, whatever the heck they're running now, he's pretty good at it. So he's got his dad's talent. And if it's anything like me and my dad, he's probably better, Dustin is, than his dad. I mean, that's just how it works. And we wait till they retire to start talking that shit. So yeah.
Go ahead.
What we got to talk about next?
Shoot, should we just get into it? Go straight into I mean, where do we want to start?
I mean,
Send it.
Well, yeah, we'll wait for Bob
Before we get Bob.
big one. I mean,
Yeah.
we're going
we can't.
We can't do that without him. But yeah, as everybody knows, IRC meeting's coming up this week, starting Thursday, something like that.
I think Wednesday.
So they got some rule proposals in. We got Rob Brackett supposed to join us a little bit later, talk about his Toyota project that he's been working on. Seems like a really cool thing. So we'll save that for him to talk about. Really not too much that's up for discussion, really. Let's see what we got here. You got this 1-day race. We talked about that with Timmy. They made some changes to it to basically say that you can't use this to get extra days of points.
Okay.
I think, like we talked about that one night, that it could work for some of these smaller events that you're not drawing people from driving way far away, like an Edgewood, a Maze Landing. I don't know, a
Yeah.
Black Lake. I'm sure it can work on the West Coast too.
Yeah.
There's definitely places for it, and get you home Sunday. I do like going to the go-kart races with Theo, where it's just a 1-day thing and doesn't mess up your whole weekend. Can go hang out on other things. So it's definitely things that could.
Yeah, I think
be an
there's a place
option.
for it. I think that's the key, is it's an option, and I do think the it being a way for people to exploit it for national high points. I think it's important to make sure that's not possible. But like you said, there's certain events where it does just make sense. And I always thought, maybe like a Maze Landing, a Rocky Fork, some of the smaller events, maybe not as much boat count. Those are the ones that, especially financially, that can justify it. Get 1 day of cranes versus 2, stuff like that. But there's certain events that I don't want to see ever turn into a 1-day race.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's certain ones there's certain ones like that should return to the 3-day format. Sometimes,
absolutely.
you think about it. The Nationals used to be like qualify Friday, you race the Nationals Saturday, and you had multiple qualifiers lead up to a day-trail format for that 1 day of racing, and then Sunday was either a weather day or a separate day of points.
Yeah.
Just added buzz. You talk about like the dilution that we've had over the years. Used to have to qualify to even go to the Nationals and all that stuff. So everything's ever changing. It's trying to figure out what works for right now. And I think that's definitely a good option for certain races, and certain races can maybe withstand longer. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I agree. And especially, even like new races, it can be easier to sell to a township or a lake or a river or whatever the case may be. Like, hey, this isn't especially in a river case, hey, we don't need to shut down this river for 2 days. We just need 1 6-8 hour block, whatever it is, and see how it goes. Like a lot of new races, there's always kind of that first year is you dip your toes, see how it goes, learn some lessons, and go from there. And those are the ones where you're not trying to go spend $50,000 to a boat race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think crane costs are getting a little crazy. We have reached out to a couple crane companies about doing some partnership stuff. So hopefully things pan out. It's just you got to keep pushing on that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's one major manufacturer of cranes in the U.S. So if you can get in with them or their distribution network, like you can get maybe either discounts, or maybe the crane company that's at the races could get like a service contract for free, like maybe a extended warranty if you help out this race site. Like there's multiple ways to make it work to where it's not just, hey, here's 50 grand. Here's a sponsorship. There's ways that can help these race sites. So we're working on that, obviously, in the background.
Yeah, the like kind sponsorships, I think, they get overlooked a lot. It's the whole point in getting sponsorships is to afford throwing a race. So if you can get expenses wiped out, it really is all the same.
Right, exactly.
I know one like we're hoping to get for Pontiac Lake, and I think the township that we're working with has already gotten it. Is we've always had issues there with the condition of the ground. The reality is you're bringing in 40, 50 cars, 40, 50 trailers. People are moving stuff around, towing stuff around. Like that's just, you got cranes coming in. Like the grass is going to get a little messed up, but there's a landscaping crew that's already offered to come in after the fact and, patch anything up that needs to be, kind of return it back to the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I know not every race site deals with that problem, but it's a nice hurdle that we don't really have to worry about in trying to get this race back on.
Yep, exactly.
What else we got?
Let's open up this one. I could have pre-planned for this, but why would you? There's no fun. You're going through it with us. We're kind of reading it at the same time. All right, so I think this one is. So I think this goes hand in hand with what our rule is. If you're in a combined class that has 3 legal starters, you'll receive 60% of your points. So I think our rule change that we're pushing, actually, you don't even need this one, because if you run in a heat, we have a point structure. If you have 3 and 3, you get your normal points wherever you finish in your class. And if you don't have 3 boats, if you're like, say, the only Y boat running with 2.5 stocks, you get points for wherever you finish. Say if you go out there and you beat the 2.5 stocks, you get first place points. Hey, you earned it. You didn't just come there and run by yourself. So I think that one needs to be talked about a lot. Obviously, hopefully the IRC talks about that. We'll get to trying to keep our stuff for the end, keep you guys engaged.
Yeah, I think that the rule proposal surrounding that one, like I think Timmy, the conversation with Timmy really made it seem like we need to, instead of like putting a rule in place that forces combinations over, we have to find a way to make it abundantly obvious that is the best way to go. And I think really the best way to do that is you got to get a race site to say it. Everybody always, one of the comments, I think it was Dave Shaw brought it up, was, you take a lot of the power out of the race committee's hands. And that, yes, you are correct in that. But in my experience, the people that are hosting the race aren't often the ones making that decision. In my experience, when it came to combining classes, I watched the referee go around and do a majority rule. That has nothing to do with the promotion at all. Yeah. Do I think that do I agree that, yes, you are taking out of the committee's hand? And I'm not saying that we need to just be like, committee has no say in anything. But, if a race site, promoter, whoever is, the conducting body of it, sponsors decide we want to see more boats on the water. You have 4 in this class and 2 in that class. We want them combined. Yeah, I don't see how as a sport we deny that.
Yeah, and that's I think we just had to clean it up with what gets combined, so it's a better show for the fans. And it's, to us, it's a no-brainer. But we sit around and talk about it not only for the 2 hours we're on this podcast, but we seem to text and call each other a lot throughout the week discussing. So all our ideals usually seem like great ideals.
I heavily encourage a race site to, if they're looking to shake things up, they're looking to make things more entertaining, or just see how they can make their show better, try it. Just try it. Do it one time. And, if the improvement in the show is not worth the pushback you get from a couple of the drivers, because you're going to get it, my opinion is I don't care. The show is more important. Then so be it. It's your race. You get to make that decision. But like you said, I think if we clean up the framework and what the picture looks like, if a race site does choose to go that route, then it's a lot easier to encourage somebody to
I think
be like, this is what we want to do.
Ultimately, we're not really changing anything. Austin, you run a 2.5 stock. Would you rather run with the 2.5 mods or with the Y boats?
Probably Y boats.
Because you actually stand a chance. It's going to be more competitive.
Stand a chance. The boats
I had an argument.
More close.
They're the same thing, just a little lighter, right? So I had someone argument me that 2.5 stock's actually closer to a 2.5 mod. I was like, man. Well, the records,
drive next to Steve Lynn's old 2.5 mod and tell me that it's a thing.
Right.
That thing throws your 2.5 stock 4 feet over.
Yeah, don't say true. You can't tell these people true 2.5 mods either. Like if you say, hey, well, if you have a full field of true 2.5, what do you mean true? A 2.5 stock is a legal 2.5 mod. Okay, so we patched the problem.
The fact that that's an argument, is exactly the problem.
Right.
That class has become so scarce in boats, and I'm not trying to hate on it. It's unfortunate that it doesn't have the count it used to do. It used to be a very fun class to watch, but we can't change.
Maybe it should be a class that focuses on 4 races or 3. Like, hey, we are going to get Randy, Greg Isaac, and a few others. These are the races we're going to talk about it right now. We're not going to go and weasel our way to this one and pick up 2.5 stocks so we can win high points. Like, we're making a 2.5 mod series and just have purebred 2.5 mod racing, and it'll be great. I mean,
if you have out west, a boat, I just don't see why you wouldn't do that. Don't you want to race?
Right. And I mean, if you think about
race, not go test with 2.5 stocks chasing you for fun. That's not racing.
And I think about it from the West Coast, because we always seem to forget them, is that 2.5 stocks had a down year last year. Not sure why, but it looks like they're going to have a resurgence. Probably going to have 9 of them again at races. So now there's probably going to be less that want to step up 2.5 mods. So 2.5 mods going to hurt. Well, there's only 2 or 3 5-liters out there, 350s. Why they need to go back to that direction, or national mods. You got Harnax and a couple others out there that can run together. There was a different path for them, and I think a couple people I know what happened is Lake of Pacon it was like the HRL weekend and APP HRL and all the 350s stepped in the 2.5 mod and it became another heat of 350s. Well, that's really not the intent of it. So
Yeah.
A referee, or that's when the race director could be like, hey, look, we have 3 true 2.5 mods. We can't just fill the field with 6 350s. That's not what the intent of this combination is for.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we need to use a little judgment and fix that for the
That's
true 2.5
That's
mods.
essentially what I laid out in that guideline thing that I put together and sent to you. Is just and again, we don't have to make it a rule, but I think especially if it comes from APBA, inboard IRC, whatever it is, to the race sites in a memo that says, look, this is our desired, what we have determined is best for our show, our sports show. If you find yourself in these situations, this is how we suggest that you set up your heats to maximize the show you're putting on the water. And it's exactly that. I think it boils down to when A class is scarce, they shouldn't be reaching down to pull people up to them. They should be choosing to go up to run with somebody else, be it that they're the scarce class.
Right.
I think we kind of do the opposite now. And it works, I think, in cases, especially 2.5. It was great for us. We got 2 seasons worth of heats for a rookie year, but that's not exactly the point.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. You utilized it when it's there, but it's really not what's best for the sport and the fans on the shoreline. I mean, that's where, and then I know we got them haters saying, no, National Mods, GNHs, come on. Half the haters that say that, their GNHs are the size of National Mods, not the size of GNHs. Yeah. So it's like, come on now. Just because it's got a big block and not a small block, and you're afraid to get beat by a small block. Like,
and you're getting beat. How? Like, your points aren't going to be their points. Like,
right.
We just laid out how that works.
Right. Exactly.
If you beat them, you get your first place points. That's
right.
Great.
Exactly. And if you have
you
3 in each class,
happy. And now you've got even more value to stepping up. If you don't, you still are going to get the points you deserve.
Right. And you're out there.
The reality is, if you don't have a class there, you shouldn't be getting any at all.
Right. Shouldn't even go on the water. That's it. Like, at the end of the day, the racing needs to be condensed to where the boats with actual show to put on for the fans could go out extra times, whether that's testing, hot laps, an extra heat. Like, the promoter can then be like, all right, I got Skiff's 350s, 2.5 and Y boats are running together, 2.5 or 2.5 stocks and Y boats are running together, 2.5 mods didn't show up, National Mods didn't show up. All right, I need to fill the day with something. Like, so then you know what you got. But if you got 2 here, 2 here,
that'd be wild.
That's why Skiff, I'm thinking there's got to be a combination with Skiffs. I mean, something. Wrote, although they show up with like 10 plus every time. Yeah. So anyway, that was that rant. And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. You're allowed to not agree with our stuff, but we feel like the combinations is probably the biggest one we put in this year that we feel like should get passed or should get worked on. We're not the experts on how these rules are and what rules they affect other rules and bylaws and all that BS stuff that you got to go to school for. But well,
that's what you submit rules to the IRC.
Yep, exactly. It should be figured out, and it's not like it at the end of the day it changes nothing. Doesn't change the high points or anything like that that people almighty go for. It just helps the race sites put on a better show for their fans.
To Timmy's point, we need to find a way to promote more competitiveness by maintaining fairness. And I understand the not making it a rule thing, but at some point as a sport, we need to choose to do that instead of continuing to sit back and be like, well, it would be nice.
Exactly.
If, like, these people that haven't brought their boat out for a decade just decide to one year. We got to stop counting on that.
Right. Because, I mean, we backed ourselves in that corner already because, like, Y boats can't combine with 2.5 stocks and 2.5 stocks can't run with Y boats, but they're the most like boats out there. Most the speed wise, the fast boats, like say at Caesars Creek, Eddie and Timmy's boat side by side. If you put them out there, then you go with Mellowick and maybe a mid pack 2.5 stock. They're going to be.
Told me they weren't going to run with.
There's going to be a lot of
or Dennis Wright or somebody.
Exactly. There's going to be matchups all over the. It'll be really cool. Like it's a no brainer, that one. But anyway, now that rant's over, we got Rob sitting in the waiting room. Let's bring him on and talk to him about this new engine he's got going. Hey Rob, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. So first off, before we get into the motor side of things, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got your start in hydroplane racing and all that good stuff.
You know, my start was an odd one. I grew up in the RC world. My dad had been racing RC, 8 skill hydroplanes clear back into the 70s. So kind of came up through that, but he was lineaged as well. His dad actually took a ride, or my grandfather took a ride in the slow-mo back in the 50s, I believe. So it's kind of been around. They grew up in Seattle. We moved over to the Tri-Cities. Been here pretty much all my life. Ran RCs all throughout my life, basically. And about 3 years ago, I got a wild hair into my head, and the IRC had a boat that was available. So we still, I don't know if you guys know the Joe and Jack at all, but we got to use that boat for a year, and I kind of got us launched. We were pretty well in after that. We decided to step up, buy our own boat. We bought the Bonancini's 5 boat, the white one. Kind of redid it and stepped it up and started running T-boat with it. So when we got into it, I was thankful enough to get in contact with Kip Brown. He was the one to let us do the IRC side of the world. And we were able to just kind of go from there. Had a pretty good season. We wound up second in points that season. I think we were down by 20 from first. So it's a pretty good solid run for an old boat and an old motor and all that stuff. But I kind of got with Kip and said, hey, this motor is kind of outdated and it's tough to find parts for, and we need to kind of do something. So I thought, as paying back a little bit for being able to borrow a boat and get us into the sport, I would jump in and see what it was like to actually do the whole other side of this now with the experimental side. So it's been an interesting run, but we got it to the point where it's a pretty solid package now.
That's good.
Nice. So this is a Toyota package, just an EFI newer motor, correct?
Absolutely. So this is what they call a 1NZ FE. It's out of a 2000. I think the one we're running now is a 2010. Yaris. But they started back clear with the old Scion XBs, the shoebox looking trucks. And then they moved on from there into the Yaris. The Yaris has been around, well, it's still around, I believe. There's a couple different iterations once you get past 2017, but the one in ZFE was there from 99 to 2017. There's hundreds of these things available. They're pretty robust as far as being able to find them. You can go Google search right now, one in ZFE, and it'll pull up a bunch. We'll just put it that way.
That's good.
Yep. Now, from your searching, what's the cost on the motors, like a baseline cost?
So you can pick these up at the JDM shops from about $800 to about $1,200, depending on which shop you go to. The one we've had in the boat since Manson of last year, I think we paid $900 for it out of JDM in Auburn, and it's just been a rock solid engine for us.
Nice. So I see here you send me some pictures. I'm using the wrong mouse. You guys basically just kind of cut the bottom of this oil pans setup off and kind of added a kick out.
Yeah, that was kind of the first iteration of the oil pan. We actually have a new one now. We have a local metal fab company that worked with us to help us do our oil pans. And that was the first iteration of it. It's got a little side panel to it. And we've actually gone into using the back half of the oil pan now too as well. So worst problem is we cut literally close to 6 inches off the oil pan to make it what it is. So it was a lot. I was a little worried about it at first because we're literally changing where it picks up on the bottom end and goes straight into the oil pump. But we've had great success with it. I can't complain about the luck we've had with it. So other than that, the engine's pretty well stock. I mean, it's literally running the injectors, intake, throttle body, everything right out of the car. We just threw it in there and let it rip.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Definitely seems like a robust package. I see you guys have I think it's the Haltech system on it. Is there, with the rule proposal, or is it going to be spec tune, or is it going to be open to different ECU manufacturers? What are you guys proposing?
My belief is it should be open. I mean, you can only tune an engine so far, and it's going to go away. And we are probably in the mid-range with it, mid to high range with it. We've run 26 to 30 degrees of timing, trying to keep the engine reliable more than anything. And I mean, it's been solid. So
Nice. I agree with that. Now, what's the speed comparables to this or the 1.9 or even a good Toyota from back in the day?
if you go on APBA's website, it says the T-Bow class is up to 90 miles an hour. We have never hit 90 miles an hour. 87 is what we clock. So we are rocking right in the range of where the rest of the boats are. We've been able to do some pretty decent things with it in the last few races. Like being a somewhat new driver, I mean, he's got 3 years in the sport, so um, he's been able to do pretty well with it. He likes lane two, and it seems to lock in pretty well there. It's got some pretty good corner speed with it. Coming out of the corner, it does very well. It might be a little bit of the VDT section in that. But just we've seen pretty good stuff out of it the last little bit. We fought some dread ends. I mean, brand new boat, brand new engine package. We kind of went through some things our first season, but we got it pretty well nailed down at the end of this season. And it's, like I said, pretty happy with where the engine's at and what we've gotten out of it so far.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've had some talks with some people about the engine and about some things going on, and the speed was brought up. That should the class be slower, but I mean, back in the day when I was running the T-Bow class and we were running 90, 95 on mile and a quarter courses, speeds were higher, I feel like, back then than they are naturally these days, which is fine. It's one of them things that I didn't get to see a lot last year, but even if the motor is a click faster, you never bring in a new motor that's slower than the current because people will never go to it. We fought that with the Honda all year last year, but if it's reliable, it's cheap, that kind of checks all the boxes that we're looking for in a sport. And with what you said with the ECU, in our mind is that if you start seeing that it's too fast next year when it gets in maybe a lighter boat, I'm not sure the weight of your boat, but then maybe they can dial it back, a restrictor plate, fuel restrictions. The ECUs are actually more inspectable from what we're coming to find out than a carburetor is. We talked to our ECU manufacturer, and they kind of talked about we can definitely have like a fuel flow calculation in there. So if our motor's flowing more than anybody else's, we know something's going on, or we messed with the tune or whatnot. So I think that could be something that could be implemented. I would love to see it pass for sure, and just have those, if they need to put restrictions on them, I would be open to restrictions. How about yourself?
I mean, I think we're pushing it to the point where, like, my tuner tells me, and my tuner scenario is a whole other world, but he's like, you can only push an engine so far, and it's going to let go. So, it is what it is when it comes to the tune. And we started out really conservative, and we kind of worked our way up. He's a 10% guy, is what he told me. So he literally bumped us 10% until we found our happy place, and we kind of sat there, and it's been pretty solid. That engine that we ran literally every race since Mansell last year. We missed Black Lake due to some issues, but I didn't even change the spark plug.
Nice.
I literally just changed oil in the thing. We went and raced. There was no maintenance, no nothing. They just put it on the water and go run. And
we found out you might not even need to change the oil.
No. The engine builder told you need to change the oil.
I know. Don't worry. We changed it after that. We did it.
But it's rock solid. We pushed it, we ran it, and it just keeps running. I mean, if it passes, we're gonna put it back in the boat and run it again until hopefully something happens, or maybe it does. Maybe we get another full season out of it. We started out with an engine that's got 60 to 70,000 miles on it, and it's still rocking and rolling solid. So it's hard to say that there's bad in it. I mean, it's a good baseline to start from, and they're hugely available. So that point right there, when I got in, it was like trying to find stuff from that old 4AC was like, holy cow, I found a farmer that was 100 miles away that had one. And that was how I got the spare parts,
Yeah.
So,
the only people that have parts for those are the ones that have been in the class forever. we were in that boat for a long time, and that's why we talked about, because I was in the car racing, and the Spec Racer Fords were moving up to a new engine, and I mean, they had 700 cars, so we knew a ton of motors would be available. But I think we just moved too slowly. Things didn't get passed too fast enough to where all the people that had those motors, they just went to the junkyard. They
there's not a lot.
They got rid of them, so we missed that boat to be able to buy a surplus of all that. So unfortunately, that maybe we can chalk that up as a loss in the history of the class. But I definitely think this is an option moving forward. We've tried options before. I mean, when I was running T-boat back in 2008, I tried some Chevy forklift motor that it was slow in a corner because they had it restricted, and then it'd be running 100 at the end of the straightaway because it would start to unleash. So I think from what you're saying and what we've seen on the dyno numbers and stuff like that, I think we're in a way a better place with this motor than anything that's ever come to T-boat. And obviously, like I said, it can be worked on. Nothing's ever set in stone. I think that's one thing we talk about on this podcast, that our sport gets caught up in, like, well, what if it's too fast? What if it goes and breaks records? Okay, well, maybe for the first year, just like we did the Honda, you can't break a record. Maybe there shouldn't be records in T-boat class anyway. It's a rookie class. Like, there's all these things we go what if to death, but let's just keep moving forward.
Well, let's not toss that R letter around.
What if we start moving faster and stop missing opportunities?
Exactly. That's
Crazy
the biggest
concept.
thing. It's the biggest thing. And like you yourself, Rob, like if you did all this work and then they push you another year and another year, like, that's frustrating for you. It's been your investment, not anyone in APBA's, your time, your kid that's like doing this just for the enjoyment and hopefully getting to have it see fruition eventually. But you don't want it to be that time where he's like, all right, Dad, I'm done with T-boat. It's legal now, but I want to run 2.5 stock now.
we're moving in that direction already, actually. So, the boat that we bought was for a reason, and it was so we could grow in it. And I love the T class. It's been awesome for us because my son had never been in anything as far as a hydroplane goes. The closest thing he ever drove was recreational boats and RC hydros. So he at least had the rules and the thoughts down of how things work from the RC side, but he'd never put a hand on the steering wheel other than a little knob for your RC. So he was able to get out there, run through his races, and get his rookie status to the point where he could run up with them. And we had a great season. And that to me is what the T-boat class should be, is how do you get somebody into a sport? You basically give them the start and the ability to be able to. Looking at like I said, even the old Ford or the Toyota, you're still $500-600 into an engine that's got to be rebuilt because they're all wore out and they're dead, and that's if you can find it. So being able to go get a JDM, or I even bought one from LKQ, which is a supplier. It's a wrecking yard. I found one that was about the same as it would have been a JD engine or JDM engine, and same performance. We literally across the board not seeing any real difference between the few engines that we had. The issues we have with the engines so far have literally been all ours. The engines themselves have been bulletproof, so
that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, those old Toyota 4ACs, they wear out real fast too. I mean, you'd probably run a half a season and you'd have to rebuild it if you want to keep up your speed. It's just not a great engine. But they've been around since what, the 80s?
At least the 80s, yeah.
I mean, finally we just brought in a new engine into the 2.5 stock class, but I mean, like, APBA needs to start letting go of some of these carbureted engines.
It's funny for me.
You just bring something new. You bring something new, people are going to change.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it with the Honda already. There was so much pushback. It was probably like it wasn't even a 2080 issue. It was a 1090 issue, and now it's 50-50.
Yeah.
You give people the information to make the right decision, and they're going to make the right decision most of the time.
For us, coming from the outside in, and I'm lightly mechanically inclined, but just seeing the availability and then the way the other classes work, even, it's like there's so much more out there and so much better equipment that it's going to give you the same performance and less hassle. That why isn't it there? So that was kind of our look when we went to this engine, was where is the durability? And if you go look at the 1NZ, they actually tell you it is a very, very durable, reliable engine. You can do all kinds of weird things to them. I mean, you go down to the Australia side and they're making 200 horse naturally aspirated out of those little tiny things, which is ridiculous, and they're still holding together. So the bottom end solid, the cylinder heads are solid. we just have not had issues other than our own dummies. You know, we had new boat issues where we had water pump failures and heating problems. The biggest one we fought early part of this year, a little bit of last year, was the drive coupler for the front half of the engine coming off the pulley. There's only about 12 millimeters of stud coming off the front of the crankshaft, and it's got a 5 millimeter pin that comes out of it. So to run that, I had to drill 2 3/16 in it, and then we found out that if you don't run, or if you run an aftermarket pulley, they just don't hold up. So I was buying cheap stuff because it's $300 for a pulley that's stock.
Okay.
So the stock pulley, when you get it on the engine, is fantastic. We had one failure on the stock pulley, and it was our fault. We took it off; it didn't get retorqued. We can take the blame for that. But once I had it fixed, we run solid since. So it's pretty cool to see.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. So my question is, when you do move to 2.5, what engine are you gonna throw in there?
I don't think it's well. It'll be 2.5, but it'll be a little higher than 2.5. So
There you go.
I think we're gonna go play with the Burnett's and those guys over here. So
Okay, fair enough.
see how that goes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
It seems to be
your boat is originally a 2.5 mod, isn't it? Or no?
2.5 mod, 1 liter. Yeah, that's what they designed it for.
Okay.
I think your experience, especially as it's related to this engine, is like this selling point for, you know, if we had, you know, I think Matisse was probably like the comparative for the Honda. You know, they were new to the sport. They were the first ones to use it. That was kind of their introduction, was what's the best way for us to get involved. So, you know, same in your case. And I think especially in the T class, where that's where we're trying to attract the newcomers, I don't see how somebody can turn down the selling point in the pitch that you just gave.
Yeah.
Especially just even if you didn't try to sell it and just stated your experience, that's the sales pitch right there.
It's been pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. You know, even with a year of hardships, we knew we were gonna fight stuff. But once we got it together, it was just like, oh, this thing's ridiculous. You don't do anything. You change the oil in it, and maybe you change the oil in it, and then you go out and race again. And that's literally all we've done.
How much more do you think he's been able to learn as a racer, as a driver, now that you're not spending that much time worried about if the boat's going to run?
A ton. So not only a racer, a driver, but he's also learned other driver patterns. Yep. So he's learned some things. So it's not always about your boat. It's about the boats around you. And he's learned some things there, and we've been able to play on him a little bit. I think we have a good boat too. You know, it's very light. It packs a lot of air, and then it's just as good as a small boat that's super light to me. It handles good in the corners. I mean, I have no complaints. So that with the engine package, man, it's just kind of come together for us. It's been pretty awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think the last question I have to wrap up is like with this, if it does pass, do you have a baseline tune you give to anyone that purchases, or they're kind of on their end to figure it out?
Yep. Well, I've got 3 or 4 people that have already said if it goes through, we're throwing it in. We're more than welcome to give everything we've got to them. You know, we're not here to say that, we're going to take this. We want to go race. I mean, that's what we started this for. It was cool. I mean, just keep going.
There you go.
That's good.
Well, I think I was looking on eBay here, and I think old Hage Tool Machine, our machine shop's gonna buy this Yaris. You buy this whole Yaris with the engine in it for $250, and we'll figure out some hardware. We'll fix the coupling issue for everyone.
So there's actually an easy fix for it, right? You put a gearbox in the thing, you're done.
Yep, exactly. But it's just extra cost. We fought that with the Honda, that the extra cost, but I think it should be an option. My dad and I were just actually looking at your pictures today, and we're like, could we cut the bottom of the block of the Honda and run direct drive? And then we were like, nope, the oil pump's right there, so you can't do that. But I mean, having the gearbox makes it so much easier. Stock oil pan, never have to worry about it. So maybe it could be an option.
Gearbox is more upfront cost, but if you do it right, it is less in the long run.
And like the argument I was given was, not only is it an upfront cost, but you're saving in props at that point in time because then you
That's
can do
yeah,
the
that was
gearbox. and
that's
not
the
prop.
long term aspect. Is once you get competitive,
Right.
you're going to start looking for props.
Correct. And
Absolutely.
if you start the gearbox down here at the T-boat too, you can then now go, that gearbox can go with you to a Y boat or a 2.5 stock, or in your case, going to run 2.5 mod. It's all going to basically be the same gearbox all the way up. So it's not like you're
Right.
wasting money. It's money that can go with you. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Same with the ECU and all that stuff. That was our point. Was if you log it down to a certain ECU, you've got to take that. And some ECUs won't do everything. Like you get into the Hondas or mod side of the Hondas, you have VTEC on both sides, so you
Yep.
start playing around with that, and you can start doing that. So you've got to have an ECU that's going to hold up with it. So if you buy a decent introductory ECU, like we wanted the Haltech Elite 750, and it will do everything we want to do in the 4-cylinder world. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's ways to make it so it's got some longevity to it. You're not just saying, "Oh, this is what I'm spending in this class. Now I got to go do it again." So that was kind of what we looked at when we put this together: was how can I still use this further on down the road?
Yeah, I love it. Well, you got Chasing Tails. Well, the boys can speak, but you got my full support on this thing, and I
100%.
hope that here
I
this
think
week
it's
it passes. And if I got to jump on a FaceTime call and let the IRC know what I feel, I'll do it again.
I appreciate that.
I'm
Bobby's
curious to
always
see.
ready.
I'm curious to see how this conversation goes because I just don't see a world in which I'm hoping it's smoother, be it that we've gone through the Honda, but like I don't see what sort of discussion can be had that is any different. It's all the same counters, all the same pros. Like if we passed one, how are we going to justify not passing the other?
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I think unless you got anything else to add, we definitely appreciate you coming on and telling us all about that. Hopefully it helps get it past this coming weekend, and look forward to all the success it'll have this coming season.
Got my fingers crossed. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Thanks,
Good luck,
man.
bud. Hopefully
Good
it
luck
gets
this year.
passed. Well,
All
not
right.
much.
So now we were just kind of chatting about some other rules. We talked about Australia. We said we would save the good stuff for when you came on. But yeah, to wrap that up, I definitely like the engine package. Looks like a nice one. Might have to pick one up, see about making mounts for it. Maybe we'll run T-boat too. You never know.
I think it's important to look at it. Like I think the conversation that this conversation is more like the Honda conversation in HRL, be it that HRL doesn't have a T class. The Honda was in the entry level class, so to speak. I think with the way it works at T class, be it that I really don't know of many people that have hit that 2.5 age and not moved
right.
effectively immediately.
Exactly.
So you're not necessarily saying that this person that may be stuck in a T-boat for 40 years is going to be hindered forever.
Right.
And the reality is, if they're going to be in it for that long, they should be able to save up the money to make the engine change in a couple of years at worst.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it'd be cool to see, like, the more people get involved, does it get carried away? Because, like, we're huge on the spec tune. I think it just takes the element of question out of things. Really like that for the 2.5 stock class. Maybe that's the future for this. You start locking it down after it gets going, after it's been open for a while, but maybe it doesn't need to be.
I think that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, maybe that motor is only based to make X horsepower with the way it is. And even if you tune it to the max, where the K20s kind of, you can get the Turk curve different places, and you get all this different things that could go on. But I mean, for the time being, I think it's good.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, and in my opinion, because I think if you're racing for speed records, you're not really racing for what the sport's intended for. We have a season for a reason. Just don't allow records for 1 year while you get this figured out. You did it with the Honda. You can do it with this one. Quite frankly, it should be standard procedure. It just prevents some headaches down the road. But yeah, I think him just telling the story of them getting into the sport is the sales pitch for that engine. You don't even need to add anything like that. That is exactly what you want in the T class. It's if the T class had a mission statement, it's that.
It's that. Yeah, I agree with that. So we'll obviously put our stamp of approval on that one and move on. Definitely was nice to have them talk.
Real quick, I just want to talk about a post that we made the other day. Maybe it was yesterday.
Hold on. I got a button for this now. Welcome to What's Your Beef with Bobby Kennedy.
Man, too many people said, talking about the noise with the boat starting up. What's your favorite? Blah, blah, blah.
We did it earlier, Bob.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Go ahead, play your try.
You can do it, though.
Bobby ain't got no hair.
This is what it sounds like, Brandon.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Oh, you got to do it. Every time.
I enjoyed reading those comments though. Like obviously a lot of them were like A then B or B then A or whatever, but the people that actually like said stuff, it cracked me up.
Yeah. That's hey man. We just try to get people I feel like we've done a great job in the past 7 days. Just making
conversation,
mockery of Facebook, getting people fired up.
Man, you want to talk about fired up? You want to talk about fired up? Let's prop up, guys. Let's prop up. People get so butthurt. Holy crap! Like, look, people get so butthurt. Holy Jesus!
Wow, that thing's
quick. Listen.
That is awesome.
First off, half the people didn't even read it correctly. Like when you prop up. Oh, if someone damages my $4,000 prop, first off, you shouldn't be running a $4,000 prop. They don't cost that much unless you go to full billet. And as far as I know, they're supposed to be, well, I guess in HRL they're banned, but
yeah, somehow that was one of them rules that just.
But that might be a gray area. Let's not go there. So anyway, when you prop up, no, they get to keep your prop. It's not your prop. It's the whole point of keeping the cost down. When I give a prop to someone and my prop is gone 5 times after buying it, maybe I'm not going to go spend a shitload of money on a prop. And after it all cycles through, everyone should
I think
saving some money.
Maybe your numbers could have been adjusted just a little bit. $300 for $2,000. I mean, $2,000.
No.
Minimum nowadays.
I think if we had just started in the sport, the numbers were great. But the fact that I don't think there's a single person running a 2.5 stock prop that they bought for less than $300 or even $300 means you're just everybody's losing money.
Nowadays, so.
Look, when I ran 2.5 stock, I didn't buy a prop over $300.
All right, you sounding like
that was like a century ago.
You know what you sound like? A pure APBA purist. Back when we ran a Rolls Royce.
You know who says shit like that? Vintage people, Bob. Vintage people say shit like that. The vintage, woo.
But listen. I always bought secondhand props. We never bought a brand new prop. And
so this is a self-serving rule you're trying to get.
Dude,
you're trying to get some good
you
props.
were propping up. You were propping up.
But look.
But
look, the funny thing is, I don't even really give a shit about the prop up. Like that was
the spec prop idea I like better.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm making my way to that.
You did a long way to make it here.
Jesus.
Hell yeah, dude. We're like 130 comments deep making our way to that.
Man. But listen. Like, all right, so the prop up, I don't know. Well, anyway, what I really want is fucking spec props in 2.5 and 350. People like, oh, can't be done. My boat doesn't work on. Oh, bullshit. We have adjustable struts, and then you can flip your boat over. If it still doesn't work, flip your boat over and change the bottom of your sponsons. Like it's 2026 now. You should be able to know how to use some composite.
People are doing that stuff anyway. So I like the spec prop idea. I will say for sure in 2.5. I don't know about 350. I don't necessarily disagree with it in 350, but
it would work in 350. I mean,
I
have two spec
been
props.
like baby stepping their way to this.
If you're going to do it, though, it needs to come through the series. The series needs to buy a trailer full of props for each class or a couple cases with whatever the case is, and it's through the series.
Just like they baby step their way to 425 horsepower engine?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Hold on, folks. We're keeping our engagement a whole episode here. 350 will be last. Thank you. Anyway,
Jamie,
I mean, that's what DeWalt was doing when I went there to check out a shop and talk to him a bit. Was he was just making like 12 props for I forget what class, might have been the J stocks, all identical CNC. Doing that, I mean, maybe you could have a range of pitches or something, but either do a spec prop or inspect props, have a thickness rule and have a pitch rule.
Do that. and then do
Pitch
prop
gates are
rules.
cheap. I mean, if the HRL put this diameter rule on, and it's like, why not just put a pitch rule on there too?
Man,
you can run a
I want to
16
know.
to
I
an
want to
18.
know. I want to know who's going to be the diameter inspector at HRL, where they walk around with a ring to put it over
That-
props. To see
Yeah,
if-
I hope it's got some handles. And I told him
So
they
it's
said
got
something
some
about a 3D print, and I said, man, they better 3D print me one so I can double check. But yeah, yes.
So we got our permit.
I
for.
bought a prop
Exactly.
off of Barker.
Yeah, he's talking back in the day with Poppy's boat and then buying props. There was lots of $300 props bought back then.
No, Ronnie, I didn't.
And
buy a
they're
prop for
still
the
around.
GP, but I get you prop numbers to buy for the GP.
That's what we consider propping up. This is
Yeah, you prop up. You just walk over to a competitor's boat, you lift up the rag, you look at that prop number. I got it. Man, sorry, Luptons. I have no
but yeah.
shame.
Yeah, I think the concept's good, especially. I mean, what cracked me up is in those comments, you got people arguing that were part of this diameter rule in HRL. It's like, how you
Yeah.
arguing with this? But maybe it was the concept. Maybe if you said spec prop, they'd be all for it. Who knows? But that'll be next week. We'll talk about spec props next week. I mean,
Yeah, I think
what we
you're
got
going to
to
have a
lose?
tough time telling however many people it is, a couple hundred people, that their property is very likely not going to be their property at the next race.
Yeah.
It's
I like
just- that's a-
Rachel. Rachel had that best idea. She's like, I'll just buy a couple props at the beginning of the season. I'll take season off and then I'll sell them in the winter. I'm like, you're gonna be the first person to ever make money at boat racing. Smart
Well, look,
move.
Well, look,
It was a good idea.
My prop up thing was just to get the prop conversation going, because ultimately what I really would like is to go to spec props. But the people got so butthurt about the prop up thing. I don't understand. Like, there's dirt tracks that claim a roll. If you beat me, I put up a certain amount of money and claim your engine.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a little bit more money than a prop. So,
Yeah.
but then that's how you keep cost of engines down. Maybe BPA should have a claimer engine rule. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you
Ronnie
come into-
fired up, Bob.
The spec prop thing goes into a spec class thing. Like that's why we raced that car in SCCA. Everything was spec. Didn't have to worry about anything except for setting it up and driving it. So I mean, there's definitely places for it. I know APBA tried that whole. They were going to do that spec T-boat thing, and they decided to stop. But it's what you might need. I mean, there's a lot of people that just want to show up and know they got the same shit as the guy next to them, and they're just out there racing, having a good time.
Yeah,
So,
I think in like say 2.5 and I don't know what you want to call
I
it.
think
You
it-
wanna call it
for-
R, you
for-
want to call it F. You wanna
I
call
think
it F.
Formula R would be a good spot to start this spec prop thing.
I
There
agree.
you go.
I agree.
There you go.
I do think the spec prop gets a little more interesting in a class with multiple motors. Especially when you got one motor that is running a gearbox, the one that's not. I think it could be a challenge there. I think once we get rid of the Fords, it becomes a much more appealing proposition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I have a Honda and I get handed a prop that a guy has a Ford with, I get a hell of a lot more flexibility with that prop. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the selling
Well,
point to the Honda, is be it that we don't run spec props, we can save money by.
But it
running a
doesn't
gearbox.
matter if it's spec or not. You still have that the versatility of the gearbox. So
That's the point. The person with a Ford in
Yeah.
a class where you have multiple engines would not
Yeah.
have that versatility, and the fairness then goes right out the window. That's where I think it gets a little challenging in the current environment, be it that we do have a 2-engine class.
Yeah,
The Fords
I think
are going to go away at some point. That is just
floor blade. I
reality.
just seen someone selling a floor blade the other day. I forget who it was. Huh. 4 blades. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
that's not a Bobby conversation. Bobby hates 4 blades.
Yeah, I don't like 4 blades, but I wonder, does DeWalt, since it's all CNC time, does he charge more money for 4 blades?
I'm not sure. Never asked him.
Because it's not like he's hand finishing them and taking.
Right. I would think it'd be the same. He does do a little hand finishing, a little hand polishing, getting some of the machine marks out. But nothing major on that. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw he had some 6 blades up there for the offshore guys. They were insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some of those in person. They're it's kind of trippy to look at.
Yeah.
Because you're
It's
so
like,
used
yeah.
to looking at a 3 blade and then you look at a
Right.
6 blade, you're like,
And you
whoa.
think about working them things. Like, how do you even get in there to work them blades? It's wild.
Yeah, you lose track. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, for the future, I think it's at the discussion needs to happen. I like start with one class. Try to do spec props. Everyone's going to have their own argument about it, but I mean, I think in 2.5, I think 98% of the boats are all Hendersons.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and like you said, like we talked about before, you can easily make it work with what we have now, with what HRL's trying to do with the limiting diameter. Is you
Yeah.
can only run from a 10 to a 10 3/4 in diameter. You have that range, and you can only run from a 16 to a 19 in pitch. So nobody
Yeah.
gets exotic. Nobody's doing all these crazy things. Like your
No, they
average has
did
to
pitch
average
too?
to this. No, they
No.
didn't.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
my
why it
argument
doesn't- I
was
don't
to, if
totally
you're
get
going to
it.
limit one, limit the other. Like,
Yeah.
because somebody can do a 23, 24 that has some crazy progression into it that might
Yeah.
work. But like, why not limit it? If your ideal is to reduce cost, limit it somewhere. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it can get carried away anyway.
I feel like the diameter just limits the ability to spend more money. It doesn't it limits where you can spend more money, not the
Right.
ability to do it. People are just going to do it elsewhere.
Right.
Oh, they'll, if you leave it like that after a year or two, people are going to find something and
Yeah.
it's going to cost way more to meet the rules, but be outside of the rules, if you know what I
Yep.
mean.
Yeah.
I mean, there's if there's a will, there's a way, and you just gotta. I think just putting a diameter measurement on it's not going to be the way to just keep costs down.
Yeah. I think go all the way. So, all right, moving on.
Hold on, no. But the reason I want spec prop, I mean, not to limit or save money. I think it will save money in the long run. You're only buying one prop, and you don't have to keep trying new props, buying new props. But also, I think if you want to tinker, go national mod, 2.5 mod, 1 liter mod, whatever, GP. But I think 2.5 and 350 should be a driver's class. It should be close to as equal as equipment as possible, and let the driver do their work. I mean, there's some boats where people just jump in and it's boat's just naturally fast and you don't really have to drive it. I mean,
Yep.
look at Ray Lynn's national mod. Look how many people just jump in that thing and it's super fast.
So, yeah.
I mean, does he pick good drivers? Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you could probably go put a rookie in that thing, and if he doesn't blow it
Nathan
over, he's
Braden,
going to be close to the record.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
was
watched some
about to say, your
videos of that boat.
Biggest word
I-
is blowing over, not
Yeah, I
sucking.
watched some videos
Yeah.
of that boat back in like Waterford when I ran there, because I told Ray after I drove it this year, I'm like, dang, what'd you do to this thing? It seems like it's like a little evil. I watched my onboard back then. Nah, I was evil back then. I was just younger. Didn't give a shit.
It was
just a
evil, but it
boat.
was fast.
It's a fast. You just keep your foot to the floor and wink your eye. I'm going.
All right.
right,
So no more
so do-
spec prop talk. Don't want to
We
get
got- we
too much
gotta-
hate mail.
We got a couple more of the APBA things. We talked about the 2.5 mod 5 liter combined. We talked about our combination rule, Bob.
All right.
Greg Barker's putting in for a lower chamber volume for the Esslinger head, going
Okay.
down from 61 to 55 to try to make horsepower. The only part of his, like, whatever you want, do whatever you want anymore. I don't really care. But it is, he says, bring boats out. It ain't gonna bring no boats out.
No, I don't.
Ain't nobody quit.
Sounds like
I don't think it'll bring
modifying
boats
stock
out.
engine.
I think it would make some people hang on to Fords a little longer than they would.
Yeah.
If they can try to be a little bit more competitive. like
Or
Monkey out west,
It'll just
or
help them blow them
Davenport.
up faster.
Right, exactly. You shave the head
Speed
that
this
much.
process up.
You're limiting how many
Shit,
times
whatever
it can
his
be
rule
fixed
proposal
again.
change was, double it.
Double
Tell them they
it.
have to do it. Tell them they have to do it. If you measure lower, you're out.
Yep. Throw that. You're giving us that head. We're taking it.
No.
Jake McCormick's got a couple head rules that look all right for National Mod. Just kind of adding aluminum heads. I don't understand why that stuff isn't allowed already when it's National Mod, but who knows? Jimmy Stewart's got his cage rule. We discussed that one at a different time, and the plastic seats rule. That's true. Talk about topic. Maybe that should be Chasing Tails next thing on Facebook. Like, a plastic seat's okay, and we just get everybody fired up.
We might break Facebook
Am I
with
going to
that
fall
one,
out
dude.
of my seat?
Yeah, I mean, they are not SFI rated, and so they aren't allowed in any other race vehicle. So maybe they shouldn't be allowed in a skiff that bounces
right.
all over, but they've been in them for years. So,
All right, this is they've been in them for years. I've been in them. I broke one before, but I mean,
so there's your point.
get this,
Yeah.
but get this. I always ran with my belts loose. I probably should have been tightened in.
You know,
But we stuffed it. Me and Rob Garantano stuffed in Wildwood, and we broke the seat. Now, I broke my seat. He didn't break. I don't think he broke his seat.
Yeah.
But he was tight. I wasn't. But that's because I like to do a 180 and turn around and see what the hell's behind me, because we don't got mirrors in a skiff.
Yeah.
Stupid on my part. I shouldn't have did that. But at the same thing, like my dad has pointed out many a times, you walk around and you look at skiffs. It is stupid how most skiffs mount their belts. They
Mhm.
mount them in the wrong position. Their lap belts are in the wrong position. So if your lap belt's in the wrong position, I don't care what you do with any seat. You get in an accident, it's not going to be good. So I think that's if IRC is going to dive into thinking about changing a rule, first thing they need to do is come up with a designated area where you have to mount your belts, that it's just not a free for all.
I think it is in the rule book, but
no one
it's
follows
not
it.
another one of them things.
Yeah.
I mean, also, how many skiffs? If you look at the skiffs, do they have bars right below their shoulders for their shoulder belts to come down, or do they just go all the way down to the bar?
Yeah, a
all the way
lot of
down
them
to the
are
roll
higher.
cage?
A lot of them are higher than your shoulder, so you have room to go up already.
And also, if it's higher than your shoulders, then you have
That's
room.
not
You're
good.
going side to side too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a belt expert, but I've been racing long enough. I know some better
Yeah.
positions than what some should be.
Yeah. I'm not against any safety rule, but I'm not at liberty to say if it's right or wrong. Like, that's why somebody else mandates neck restraints, because half of us probably wouldn't wear them if they didn't mandate them. So
Yeah, I
someone's
think that's what
smarter
it,
than
what it
us
boils
gotta
down to.
look into it. Yeah.
I mean, so no other racing series would allow that type of seat.
I'm 90% sure now.
So
Like,
what's
it's not
the
an
debate?
SFI rated seat.
So what's the
But
debate?
how do you say that class has to have an SFI rated seat, but no other class? Like,
Yeah.
it's those are where you got to kind of make it even across the board.
Yeah, I guess my question would be I know, like, it's you literally, like, they have to rate it, but
Bert's
what
calling the
prevent it
IRC
from
right
getting-
now. Don't make it SFI rated.
Yeah. I ain't trying to spend that extra money.
what would do? I mean, you might not even know what would stand in the way of it being SFI rated. The
It just would
material
have to
made
get
out of
tested. Yeah, it would just have to get tested and
Yeah.
withstand their testing, just like the helmets with the Snell rating and all that. There's all
I think it's
ratings
very
for that.
simple. It's very simple. Then IRC.
Did anyone
that if you want to run a plastic seat, you got to send it to get tested.
Did
Yeah,
anyone
exactly.
say
I don't know.
anything about boat count out west? 350 boat
Yeah,
count?
earlier when I was
Braden said
earlier.
350, just in general. Talking about the
Well, I said that out west they were struggling for boat count last year, and that 2.5 mods could run with them to help their boat count, both boat
Yeah.
counts.
And you're not
Which I do.
You're
think
not gonna
they struggle
need-
to get full fields at every race, but
you're not going to need to combine 2.5 stock and 2.5 mod for a show this year.
Right.
At least peers with what we've heard for who's coming
Yep.
out in that class, which will align with the East Coast, where we never really needed help on the East Coast in 2.5 for numbers either.
Yep.
It just makes sense. I mean, just look at the dimensions of the boat to start with.
So now's the
Yeah.
time to pass it, because these 2.5 mod guys don't care because they have enough boat count.
right, exactly.
Hopefully.
Oh, they care. They care. They want to beat up
Yeah.
on 2. Well, one guy cares, but yeah, I don't know what to say. But we
If
got
your
2
class
people
struggles
proposing
for
this. No.
boats, you should be going up, not down. Very
Yep,
simple.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you don't ask slower boats to race with you so you
It's
can
not,
go get a
that's
trophy.
And then
that
the-
is literally anti-competition.
Right. Yep. The last one we got here, at least that I see, is the allowing that elusive C12 fuel in the stock classes. The leaded.
Hey, Jimmy, I
Oh,
understand what
oh.
you're saying, but it doesn't matter. There's 1,000 different seats out there, and every skiff should be moving their anchor points according to where their seat, what seat they're running.
Didn't disagree with that, Bob.
Oh, I know.
He
I'm just
simply said that he went with this because the other one would stir the pot too much.
Well, he just said he
Yeah.
wanted to start with the seats, but I mean,
like his cage rule. I mean, I'm on those emails, and like he put in the cage rule because we watched a cage fail this year, and everyone's like, "No, we need our vision." Like, okay, well, we've watched like 3 or 4 cages fail in the past 10 years.
What vision
is it
does
gonna?
the cage
Yeah, is it gonna
currently
take
block?
a death that like makes us change? Like, you gotta
What
keep it
vision
being-
is currently blocked by a rule cage?
I think it was something he's putting like a second hoop, so like lower. I don't really know. I didn't look
You need
into
to be
it
able to
that
see the
much to be
birds.
able to say, yeah.
half
the
the
sun.
skiff class don't even
Sideways,
watch
so-
what they're doing anyway.
Right, exactly.
Well, not to mention,
know,
like
man-
half the time they're pointed 45 degrees up towards the sky.
Well,
Right.
you're riding with Bertola and then some other people. We'd be coming up on the inside or outside of someone, and the whole time running them down the straightaway, coming up on them, they don't even look back once, and I'm like,
Nope.
man, just
And
I'm like,
the
don't
person
dive
running
on
up
their
from behind
inside.
is like, I'm still gonna put it in there. They're gonna know I'm there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the track racing, man. That amazes me. The sprint cars and stuff, they have no radios. They're just sliding her in there, like hope they list.
Some of the riders do look. I am going
Yeah.
to say that some of the riders do look. Now, I remember
Oh, I was looking.
there's been races where like me and Peg have stared at each other the whole race because we were so close to each other.
Used to wave.
Yeah,
I don't wave.
but it goes back to that thing, like we can't get people to change. So
No,
if someone like a Bob Wertinger that does this safety stuff wound up saying, "Hey man, this ain't safe," like it is what it is, and you outlaw it from top down, then it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Stop racing because you can't run that seat? Like, evolve and keep moving, and that is the one. That is the one class that has never evolved and keep moving.
Yeah, if a seat's gonna hang you up from racing, like how passionate about it can you really be?
Right. So at the end of the day, we'll see what they decide on that one. It is what it is. C12 fuel, I guess they want they want to allow leaded fuel in the 350 class.
Oh man.
So I thought
I'm
that this
surprised.
was already allowed and disallowed at the same time in the rule book.
Yeah, it's a gray area.
So if
We're
you-
getting into the gray areas.
So
folks.
if you go down and you look, it says between this number and this number, it is approved. Until you go 3 lines up from the little fuel list, it says except in the 350 class. So it is worded. It is put in the weird rule book. Weird. It shouldn't be that way. And
So
it's,
ultimately, the rule proposal is to allow it. Just
Oh, wait.
yeah, just flat out
yes,
allow
to
it.
allow it.
And they say it's for valve train.
Steve wants
life
to know
and
how
all
you're
this
doing.
stuff.
You've been a little quiet over there.
Austin,
I feel like I've talked a few times. A lot better
Alright.
than at first.
He's just checking in.
I haven't hit the. I've been
Okay,
that-
before we get
somewhere.
before we get into the gray area stuff, Bob, if you want my help putting the shower up tomorrow, it's 9:24. We gotta keep this within a reasonable scope. Okay.
are we?
Woo!
Is
you get
Bobby
in-
getting into the class? class
If you
names
get
first?
insane, Bob, this is to cut you off.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
Stop.
Does anyone want to be politically correct right now?
Do you want me to explain what's going on before we go on?
Yeah, go ahead and explain it.
All right. So, obviously, our goal at Chasing Tails is to be very transparent. Oh, hold on.
Do we have a song?
No, I didn't put that song in here.
I can play it on my phone.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hold on.
Following program is a collection of race junkies, couch commentators, and prop spinning maniacs talking about hydroplane racing and whatever else comes to mind. It's meant to be entertaining, occasionally informative, and almost never politically correct. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of any racing organization, sponsors, or anyone with actual authority. There may be a few cuss words, because that's how real racers and real fans talk. If you're underage, overly sensitive, or allergic to fun, maybe go watch something else. We're just fourth-generation hydroplane racers. And one guy on the couch looking at you, Bobby, who've gone from the couch to the race course and somehow ended up with microphones. Cheers the Chasin' Tails crew. Brandon, Kyle, Austin, and Couch Kennedy. P.S. Don't sue us. We're just here for the rooster tails.
Not your head snapping. As soon
I
as
was
they called your
reading, all
name
I heard
out.
was Bobby, so I looked up.
He thought it was his turn. He's like, I'm ready. By don't sue us, it means don't suspend us either.
Yes.
Or sanctions or emails. Like, just take it on the chin.
So yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like we understand a lot of what's going on. We are here for the best of boat racing all around. There's a lot of misknowledge out there of what's going on and why these changes have been made in HRL, and why some people aren't going to make them in APBA. At the end of the day, with this big of a change in HRL to a head, it hurts APBA racing because the HRL boats are now going to come down here and be considered illegal. Whether they're legal or not, they're going to get tore down and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, it really hurts boat racing as a whole. So that's kind of why we wanted to bring it up. Well, we could go off the deep end, but we're going to do our best not to. So I'm going to pull up this picture and give it the best explanation I can of what's going on. There is two things going on. We'll start with the first one. I had them up, but apparently not. The first one, I didn't get much talk on. I felt like this wasn't the area of concern for us. Let's see. I'm working on it. Yeah, play the song. The song will drop tomorrow. We'll do video. So there's what's called shrouding, unshrouding of valves, whatever. Basically, this part line here, people are kind of getting these valves sunk in further, but still remaining the same CCs. That part to me is not that big of a deal. It is what it is. Probably people in other sports AP or series APBA is probably doing it, just haven't got caught with it, because unless you're got two heads side by side, how are you going to tell that difference? In my mind, it's a visual inspection. You're supposed to check a CCs. If it checks the CCs, you're legal, right? So that one's not the big concern. So from what we've been told and what we're understanding by the new rule that's out, is this is the area below the valve seat. So without getting too technical, it basically gets smaller, gets bigger in this area, gets smaller, and then goes back out into your intake, I believe it is, into that chamber. Where there was discrepancies from DART, we had one person, Paul Barber, measured over 20 sets of heads. This area here was different on every set of heads, anywhere from 20 to 30,000 straight from DART stock. Just the way they machine it. This is all done in a machine by DART. So these dimensions should be close to the same, but this one here was discrepancy. So where a motor builder has went further and further over the years, they've been opening this area up, and now the rule is going to be to open it all the way up, basically straight bore this. Whether he went that far and that's why the rule is set that far, we don't have that knowledge. We're not in any position to say
my
that,
understanding is that was the only constant to be able to base something off.
Yeah, so
there was so much difference in, like you said, 20 heads, 20 different measurements.
Yep. This area,
what are you going to go off of?
Yep. This maximum diameter right here was the constant in everything. But now from an inspection standpoint, There is no rule in APBA right now. The rule is they have to remain untouched. Yes, at the end of the day, whoever was doing this has touched them. They should have been excluded, illegal. But there is no measurement rule. Everything else has a measurement rule. You can definitely throw them out. It's not hearsay. Like, hey, you touched it, without two side by side, without the consistency. It becomes a piss and match. Could they have stood up and been like, hey, you're throw out any engine you built. This is illegal. Sure. We can't make the call of why the series decided to do what they did. We're trying to move forward, trying to help blend this back together. Now, instead of someone going in there with a dial bore gauge and measuring these three surfaces, they're basically saying you can bore it all the way out. We're going to have a 3D printed gauge and no-go gauge that's going to slide in there, and you're good to go. If it doesn't fit, or if it's whatever way you want to call it, you're good to go. So now everybody's the same. You don't have to go through 20 heads to get the max flow of this area down here, which is what people have done for years. The 283s are the same way. You buy 10 sets of heads, you flow them, whichever one flows the best. It's what you've always done. Basically, they're now saying, okay, we had this problem. We don't know the solution without making a big scene, and we don't know how to police it going forward with the inspectors we have. So this is the best way to ensure everyone has the same thing, and it's easy to inspect. So,
yeah.
But with that said, we'll let Bobby speak on that. Maybe should have just thrown him out.
I mean, look, a spade's a spade. It is clearly written in the rule book. If it's not on this page, you cannot do it.
I was told that actually got removed.
They removed it this year. So
removed
we're allowed to do
This year
whatever.
during
All right.
This
So
winter,
great.
they removed.
So
that one.
great.
Gotcha.
So great. Let's just open up every effing gray area now, and you guys are going to be chasing your asses for years on freaking rules. I'm sorry.
I feel like that's something we've openly complimented in the past.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do, and I commend that. Like, they had the problem.
The second action,
and now this action is okay. That it is a go, no go. You're out. Like, there is no gray anymore. Because right now, if you say it's supposed to be unmachined and you don't have measurements in there, what if someone put that same shape in there, but it's a lot larger? Like, you're never going to know. I've heard people say, like, oh, they're going in with a die grinder. No, it's a cutter. You're never going to tell. Like, just looking at it without having something to compare it to, you really don't know. But like Bob said, spade. Someone went too far. They should have been thrown out. I mean, Nick Roos was just thrown out a few years ago because of it. But pick up the pieces. Where do you go from
Nick
here?
Roos was thrown out something so minute. It was ridiculous compared to this.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, look, I'm not blaming the boat owners. I'm not blaming the drivers, the crew. This is 100% an engine builder that deliberately put cheating heads out there. And I don't care. Engine builders don't tell boat owners, hey, this is what I did to your engine to make it faster. They don't give their secrets out because they don't want Joe Smo to go do it, and next thing you know, you're equal again. There's this one engine builder who did it. He did it to a handful of boats up there. I don't agree with it, because now, rather than telling these 4, 5, 6 boats to buy new heads, now you have 15 other boats that have to take their heads out, send them to the machine shop, get them machined, rebuild them, spend the money, put it back in. So now you're pissing off more people than you're pissing off more people who have to change your engines than the people who actually had this done.
Yeah.
You should have just owned up to it as a racing organization and said, this is illegal, but we're going to review it over the winter and see if we want to allow this. It was cheating.
I think you get to this. I think you get to the same point, though. Then everybody goes and sends their heads and gets them bored all the way down, because they were going to end up at the same conclusion. It's the only constant. It's two problems. There was a gray area that needed to be handled. It's been handled. I think that was done correctly. The exploiting of the gray area, I think we can debate how the merits and how that was handled.
I'm sure if they wanted to spend some time on it, they could figure out a way to make that inspectable.
Well, they just did.
But
Yeah,
I mean the untouched inspectable,
right?
Not the touch.
Not when they're coming with a variance on 20 heads. Now you give everybody the chance to go make sure their stuff's the exact same as the guy next to them, and they don't just have to trust that the right guy was working at dark that day.
So all right, so I believe they did this in the past. They took so many heads, they came up with a number that would be good over a certain amount, and they went with it. But either way,
exactly what we talked about.
This
what happens when you buy one that's already over that? Then you have to buy another.
This is what happens with 283s. To skips,
Yeah.
they have to take them, measure them. Some heads are bad, and they have to throw them out, and they keep buying them.
Right.
But you could probably specifically could call Dart and say, I need this on this head to make sure that this part in the valve is not over a certain amount, and then I'll take it.
Why didn't anybody do that?
Either way. All right. So great. Now everyone can do this to their head. Here's the other problem. You went from maybe pushing 400 horsepower. Now you're at 425. It's already been on the dyno, 425 horsepower. So you just added a shitload of fucking horsepower with a class that has a box roll to where these boats are running on edge with this box roll. So now are they going to have to open up the box rolls? Because if you're adding that much horsepower,
that will piss me off.
If you're adding this much horsepower, you're going to have some boat to handle it around it. I don't know.
Well, look at the argument we had back 5 years ago. 350s are going to kill people who are X amount more horsepower. Now nobody's saying nothing now.
But all I know is, all right, I praised HRL a lot for doing things their way and sticking to their guns, but I just want to say this one was messed up. I think when you find people cheating, there's no excuse. You throw them out. I don't care who they are, how long they've been racing. You throw them out, and then you fix the problem. Yeah, you fix the problem. If they come with a valid argument, which obviously they did.
Or, I mean, even if they didn't want to come out, just like we're doing right now, we're letting everyone know. Like, it's really not our place to let them know, but that's what we're doing here as this podcast. We're trying to be honest, trying to be transparent with everything we know. Will we get all the facts right? Maybe not, but we're that's why we waited so long to come on here and do this, is we pretty much dotted our I's, crossed our T's. They should have come out to everyone and be like, we found this issue. We don't really want to make it a big deal. We don't want it all over social media. We're going to figure out a way to fix it. We're not happy with this situation. But the way they just kind of covered it up, that's where I'm like, so what's next? I mean, this guy's already done this, and other people have done things like the 350s have been gray area after gray area that just keeps getting added to
the rule book has just been slowly
at some point they got to stop. And I in my opinion, like
this
Bob,
was the one thing without a measurement.
Right. So Bob, you don't like the idea of like they should go back, and part of me agrees with that. I've went back and forth. It depends maybe in 5 minutes I won't agree with it again. But what I love about the GP right now is it's a billet aluminum head. Every single chamber is spec'd out all the same. So maybe that's the step they should have went to an aluminum head. Everybody's got the same thing. You touch it, you're out, because these are all the same.
It might lower cost. Because look how much these 350 engines cost these days.
Right. And I think that's what they're doing here in a way, is so if one person's playing, were there other people? I mean, you get into that question of morals and all this BS, but you don't know. If I went to a local circle track guy and asked him to build me a motor, here's the rules, he's going to look for the gray. That's what he's doing. So now this section, take the gray out. Everybody should have the same.
Yeah, it's black.
It's easily inspectable for someone that doesn't inspect all the time.
I also would like to point out, your HRL 350 champion still whooped everyone's ass and was not cheating. Did not have this done to their boat.
Yeah, wait till next year when he bores.
He still ain't made. He's mad. I was talking to him the other day and I was laughing at him. He still ain't made 400 horsepower. I was like, dude, we had Derek's motor on a dyno back in the day. We made over 400 on our dyno. He's like, yeah, you had one of those motors. I was like, yeah, you're right.
I heard that Derek might be getting back in.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Derek who?
Smith.
Derek Smith.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Man, I loved
Yeah,
racing
bring
with
the
him,
5
man.
liter.
It was a
Oh.
good time.
And Barber's boat.
No, I think in his.
He's got his own. Well, the
Oh,
one
he
Barber
still,
was
he
running
still have
last.
that. He still
Yeah.
has that.
Yeah.
Jones.
No, he's got the Henderson.
Oh, the Henderson. That's
Barber
right.
was running it, I think, at the end of EMS days.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That'd be cool. Good. I mean, 350 is one of those classes. Like, I don't think there's a way. I don't think there's a limit on how many boats you could put in that thing. If we showed up one weekend and if we got big enough, 350 could have their own series for all I care.
Yeah,
because they're
for
just so
sure.
damn fun to
They're
watch.
the best show, and that's where
So-
I think in the future we need a. This is a patch maybe that the series thinks is the best way to go to make everyone legal. The worst part about it is that we race in two different organizations.
Yeah.
And one organization is basically saying, no, we don't agree with it. And maybe someday they'll come around and they'll say, hey, yeah, that kind of makes sense, makes it easier to inspect, blah, blah, blah. But right now they're a hard no. So now you just put a dividing thing. So now what these two organizations need to do is get to the table and be like, okay, this is a problem. This thing's got carried away. It's a $45,000 motor, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You guys are working on the LS. Why don't we do it too? Let's work together to get this LS or aluminum heads on these 350s. Or like, now's the time. We got to put our freaking egos aside
It's
and
both
work
series
together.
most important class.
Yep.
It's
Both
both series most important class.
I believe both
By a mile.
series with 2.5 with whatever the Honda HR whatever the fuck you want to call it these days.
Is bothering him.
350, 350. You know, just these two classes, maybe even GP, but GPA it does their own thing, I guess. If you're going to try to change something with the engine package for one of these two classes, reach out to
Right.
the other organization. HRL reach out to APBA. APBA reach out to you guys. Should be making these decisions together. Not put your freaking egos aside, because
It hurts us.
us racers get hurt. Not the HRL or APBA, but the racers pay for it in the long run.
I could even accept, hey, we reached out, we had a discussion, and it's just obvious that we are not going to see eye to eye on this. At least you tried. There isn't even an attempt right now.
Right.
I mean, we got races combining dates, all this shit going on. It's very obvious that there's not so much as an email sent
Right.
about things like this, things that impact. We're bringing it up all the time. Corey Peabody, how many hydroplanes do we have in North America?
Right.
Yeah.
We can't be fighting each other.
120.
We can't be
Yeah.
fighting each other, man. Send a damn email and just, again, if you come to the conclusion that, look, this is best for the direction of our series and this is best for the direction of our series, and they're not the same way, at least you can have an honorable disagreement.
Right.
We're not even
That's
attempting
it.
to have any
That's it.
sort of dialogue.
No,
right?
there has
It's
to
all
be
that
dialogue. There
conversation.
has to
And
be
I mean,
conversations.
And it's a thing of HRL still new. A lot of these tech things they haven't went through before. But a lot of the people in APBA, I mean, go back to like Bob Bernard and days and stuff like that. Like we've been through almost everything. And I go back to like you're taking the gray out of it with this 350 because like look at the 283s and the 305s. I feel like it was every year you'd go to an IRC meeting and they'd be like, how can we do a CC on the intake runners? Because we feel like people are getting in there important and polishing them and hiding it. Like we need to get a CC rule. They do it in drag racing, and then like it would just get tossed aside. So basically, that's what they've done with this is make a spec that you can have that. That is the choke point of these heads. That once they open it up, it obviously made more horsepower. You could see it visually, and okay, now we have a spec. Now we have something to go to. I don't know. Like I said, it's a whole shitty situation the way it came up, and I think that's where the defense comes.
That's where it comes from for sure.
But I think long term, it's a better thing. So just move forward. Let's go racing. Fucking, it's a less than $500. Any machine shop can do it. You all got the same shit and move on. Because otherwise, why are these motors costing so much? Because people are looking for the gray areas.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think that's what HRL's doing. They're like looking. They're like, all right,
concrete rule
where's
book
the
brings
gray
cost
area? They're spray painting this thing black. They're like, I don't want another gray area. Like
A concrete
So-
rule book will do more at bringing costs down than just about anything else.
when you think what we had to do last year with the Honda, man, we had to measure everything.
And in hindsight, I think it was right did it suck at the time? And I don't even think it was the fact that we had to do it at the time. I think it was the fact that we had to do it after all the other shit that we had to deal with. We didn't have to deal with the other shit. I don't think getting the measurements is that big of a deal, but
Right.
it was a 2.5, 3 month process.
At the end of the day, we might have been a little dramatic. Who knows?
Who cares? That's the whole damn point.
But we about to get dramatic over this TiVo motor. If they
It's
don't
certainly
pass that thing.
recently. It's certainly seeming like drama gets some shit done.
Yeah.
Bob's been kind of quiet. He's kind of like me tonight.
I'm all right.
Bro,
Scary.
he's doing a good job. I'm proud of you, Bob. You're
Yeah.
So,
holding in the fort.
My question. So
Don't
it's
make me
always
break that
been-
out. The R word out.
Yeah, now let's talk about that. That was dumb.
Like.
So
come
hold
on.
up. Are we gonna have art? Is it now the F class and the R class, or is it FR, FF?
R's the 2.5, F's the 2500.
Okay.
F just doesn't change. F's the same as it was.
Why didn't they just leave it as an S?
You
and
want to
come up
see?
with
Hey,
something that
hey!
was
You
an
want to see
S?
R 2.5? No, it's your 2.5. Yeah, it's R 2.5.
I don't totally
No.
know why they did the letter change, but I do agree with changing. I
agree.
since I was young been like, why the hell do you call it a 2.5 stock if it is not 2.5?
Okay.
100%.
but
We're getting ready to do. Here,
I'm
here's
not
what's
going
about to
negative.
happen.
Don't get defensive.
Here's about what's about to happen. We're gonna do it because this needs changed in APPA too. We are gonna put a post on social media, and we're gonna get our fans to weigh in on what the class should be called.
Yeah.
Formula. In my mind, it should always be something with a spec, Formula spec, or for that. That should have been a Formula Pro Light or a Pro Formula Light or Formula Pro, like something like that. Just like GTD and GTD Pro. Like, look at all the other series that do the same thing: F1, F2, F3. Like, there's definitely ways to do it, but I think this is our closest thing we'll ever have to a spec class. So put the word spec in it. It might
So
draw
this
people in.
is the only thing got me hyped up about it. I had people trying to argue me. Well, people get confused because it's 2.5. Okay, then what does S have to do with 2.5? It's just a letter designation for the class to know that this is all the same class. S does not mean 2.5 stock.
Right.
It only
No,
does in our rule book.
it was more the way they presented it. Again,
What?
it comes down to marketing that
How
they
many
said
liters
2.5
is the
stock.
Ford?
Yeah, and
Wow.
the reality is that
2.3.
pitch,
2.3. Yeah.
I-
Honda.
Like, it
Like
was
the-
wrong back in the day. It's never been a
Honda
2.5 liter.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
not.
So whoever decided that, I mean, we went from 2000 to
That's since I was so young. dude.
2300.
Like, why'd we call it that?
yeah.
I guess
I
2.5
think they just-
has a better ring than 2.3 to it, but
Yeah, they like their round numbers. And then
I mean, like, seriously, why wasn't this thing just called Formula 2300 the whole time? That's what it
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I will say, prior to the banquet, I was told that it was the what I had originally been sold on was, be it that it was kind of geared towards the class, but it was Formula Honda, it would be H, and Formula Rise, as in these are the drivers that are on the rise. They're new to the sport. I don't have a problem with that. It obviously didn't end up. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
still the concept and it just didn't get pitched that way. I don't know. I also, to the point about it not really being necessary, it is what it is. I feel like.
All right.
cares?
Hold on. Put up my hand. My hand go up. All
Bob,
right.
if
Yep,
we were
my
actually in a class,
All right.
teacher, I
So
would never
this
call
is
it.
this is
Did
what
Bob
happened
do
in the
something
marketing meeting.
technical?
Ready? This is what happened in the marketing meeting. Ready? All right, guys. We didn't do anything all year, so hurry up. Think of something so we can act like we did something. R.
Buddy, here's what are
R.
you a pirate?
It's the pirate class. R.
I'm still mad because I'm supposed to be on that marketing committee and I never get a ring about it. Would I get fired? Sheesh. If it stands for rise, I'm a little bit happier. But
Well,
when
I
they
was
put
told
R
recruit, and
equals
is
rookie,
recruit mean rookie in French?
They
As
threw
far
like
as I know.
3 different names in the video.
so maybe
for
the
the R.
video, the marketing of the video.
Yeah, I'm
really
sure the video
screws.
could have been done better, but again, it's like, who cares?
Right.
Man.
At the end of the day, you still
What-
need
what
to
I will
separate
say-
them. You need around
and-
2.5s, 350s, Fs.
To connect this to our last point, the first option was Formula Advanced for the F class, meaning the new number on the 2.5 stock.
FA?
would no, it would be an A, which creates a direct
Yeah.
conflict with APBA, and they actually
Why can't-
work to prevent that from happening.
Why can't we have two? Wow, that's shocking. Why can't we have two letters? Like Formula Fords, FF, Formula Continentals, FC, Formula Enterprise with FE.
Why not have F1, F2?
Well, we can't mess with IHRA. They got F1.
Why
now.
do we
Yeah,
even
I
have
don't think
letter
we want a copy
designations
of
to
it,
start
serious.
with?
I don't know.
I mean, go out there. This is your class. If you should know what your class is. The scorers should know.
I would say all motorsports have it though. Like if you watch Daytona, the 24, they had GTP,
well, that's
GT.
because
But
they
you
have
see,
5
they're
different
kind of
classes out
follow.
there.
They're starting to
You
follow
do
that
color
F1, F2,
designation.
F3. So that was we did that back in the day.
And endurance, they do the color designation.
Yep.
Have a fin.
Yep. So we did that
Yeah,
back
so
in the day. We
these-
did a test on Carson's boat and my boat. I'm surprised it's not on one of these pictures in here where like it was a black background with a yellow number for GP. It was a white background with a red number for 2.5. Like, so it was something eye catching, easy to see. I thought it was a good idea, but
I mean,
you know,
they've
paint
been doing
jobs
that
are
in
the hard
2.5 up there with
right. It's easy to know what a 2.5
Man,
is without looking
first
for that
year,
letter.
I get to take that shit off my boat.
You
and they
got the
drop that
circle,
rule.
so
Yeah.
there-
They
there-
dropped
there.
it.
Yeah,
I
They
thought that
don't
was a
have
good
the-
rule. Like you knew
Yeah.
what boats they were, or they should be different
I
colors.
think there was a lot of people complain that it just looked so shit with their paint job, though.
I
'cause
mean,
some
it
of them
did.
really did.
I'm shocked none of these pictures of that GP has it because it did look pretty weird. But I mean, hey, so does a number plate on a
I mean,
Dirt
do
bike.
the numbers on the Daytona 24 cars look good? No, they look like shit.
Oh, yeah.
right.
When I did
They're
my
just in a place
Porsche
small.
and it
Exactly.
had the green on it. It looked
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they look horrible, but
But
again,
you can tell
what does
car
it
it
really
is
matter?
and what
That's why I
class it
think
is
it's just
when they have
whatever.
two different GT3 classes, just like we have two.
I might
2.5
start coming around
classes.
to the R thing because it's a pirate class now. R. I
Sponsored by Pirates Booty. I'm gonna get that sponsor tomorrow. I'm gonna call them up.
But yeah, it baffles me that people wanted to argue that S is 2.5 stock. I'm like, no, it's just a letter designation. It can be whatever you want it
Yeah.
to be. It's a letter. But
Yeah,
I guess
it's just what comes after it when they say E is a 5-liter. No, it's not.
That's-
It's a 350. Like
yeah,
that's the part that needs changed. The letter can still remain the same.
that's like when HRL went to H. I'm like, what the hell is an H?
Right.
I'm like, why'd you go to H?
Oh, we can go back to that when they went to the Hydroplane Racing League. I'm like, no racing is a league. But what they had is some NBA guy come in and tell them they needed to be a league. That's what really represent them to be a racing organization. I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with that, but
Yeah.
I lost that
I
battle.
guess it's a marketing thing.
It must be above
Man,
my head.
they're really killing it, aren't they?
They are. I mean, shoe.
No, HRL does a great job, but some things you just got to shake your head at. But
Are we done yet?
I'm not going to stop, man. I'm not going to stop that until they change it.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. Ron in the Coors Light tonight, he is blowing up them
He-
comments. I tell you,
God,
we
Yeah,
always
he
wanted the
doesn't-
Honda.
He doesn't like you, Bob.
We just wanted APBA points too, so we had to
Not
push
like
for
the
the
prize.
Honda. The
It'd
boat
be a
was
big
always going to have
circle.
a Honda in Canada.
Oh man.
That boat will have a gold number 1 on it. Y'all still got to go and get approval from HRL. But like, hey,
Yeah,
we'll put the 35 on the sponson, but we're putting a big old number 1 on the cowling. And if you can't figure out what boat it is, sorry.
I'll just tell them, look, this is a great opportunity for you to market.
Yep. You should. They should have to run it. Like it's kind of like when
Yeah.
the points leader. Well, I think dirt bikes do it cool when the points leader always has a red number plate, so you know who the
Yeah.
points leader is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's-
you're
it's
right.
part
That
of
is
the
a good marketing deploy. Be like, so if you had something else for the announcers to talk about, like, look, this guy with the 1, he has a 35 on the sponsor and 1 on the cowling. It's because he won the lower league championship last year, and
He was all
stepped
right
up
last
and-
year.
he's all right. He's all right. Until he got woed up on that last race and took second.
Yep.
Got him.
But yeah, there's definitely different things. Yeah, somebody said not like Indy Racing League. Yeah, they took that away a long time ago. Now it's just IndyCar.
I think they call it the IndyCar Series, technically.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I think they got rid of the league.
Is it? What's the other one? What's their feeder league or their smaller series
Indy
called?
Lights.
Indy Lights.
Indy Lights. Yep. And then USF 2000s.
That's all. I mean,
Actually, now they
really
changed it. It was Indy Lights. Now it's Indy Next.
Indy Next.
NXT.
Yeah, see, that's a good name. Gets the point across.
Like John Britton said, the flat bottoms don't do a lot of letter designations. Half the time they got the wrong ones on anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is
speaking of
true.
flat-
They do.
flat
That's why I never
bottoms.
understood flat bottoms until the podcast episode with him. Growing
Bob,
up, I
we
didn't
talked-
know what ones raced in what
you
class.
guys talked about
Right?
it?
Yeah, we started the show with that. I mean, you get here on time and you'll know what's going on.
Man, I was trying to put my daughter down. She was being a
Swa-
pain in my butt.
Just bring her on the pod next time.
No, you didn't want that tonight. Nope, she had a bit of her mama's attitude tonight.
Dang, buddy.
She can get sassy.
Yeah, I think you messed up my button. I think-
Oh, here we go.
You messed up my button. I had one that said I'm in danger, but
But yeah, some tough luck for those boys going down to do the bad boats, huh?
yeah, they were in it.
Yeah.
But just some bad luck.
You
We're
know-
talking. We want them bad boats back over here. HRL. That should be the HRL class that they should go for. They should instead of the. Never mind. I ain't getting into that. But they should have put the pro. They should have brought the bad boats. I mean, they would be cool, or just Texas trials, I guess.
Yeah.
Something different.
Like we said earlier, I think if you let them run an altered course compared to what we run at, especially in HRL, like just let them run a little narrower on most of the courses, and I think you get out of them what they're designed for.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
You go like I said, you go whiz that thing around turn.
Dude,
two
how-
in Cambridge, and it's gonna
how
look like a
cool
toy
does it
ride.
have to be? I know, like, I feel like a lot of guys would always do it the K-boat hop, but like I feel like that would be like a whoomp,
Yeah,
and
we're
then
doing
they'd
them all
land.
the time
But them
over
dudes
there,
were like
dude.
hanging them things like
Yeah.
the wheelie,
I
and I'm
saw,
like,
I
that's
saw one
gotta
of
be
Marlin
cool.
coming down the straightaway like this, and I was
Just
like, dude, you
ripping.
can't even see the water.
They're the bad boats. Their bottoms are way different than a
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more of a
than,
V. It's
say,
a shallow
Duff's
V.
boat.
Yeah.
It's probably closer to a skiff than it is anything.
No,
right?
No, skiff's so flat.
Still flat.
I guess yeah, they still have quite a bit of flat.
But yeah, they were really shallow V. So, I'm not knocking them because those guys still do have major kahunas, but I would assume the bad boats are a little easier to drive than a K boat.
Yeah, they're
On
more
that
forgiving.
course for sure.
More
More
forgiving,
forgiving,
big
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still hauling the mail, dude. They're freaking.
We'll have to get one of them guys on. Maybe next week with our recap video, maybe, or interview one. Maybe we'll get somebody on there. Who's that
Yeah,
one? Who's that one old bloke over there that always?
Why don't we reach out to the guy that won,
Sucks.
Corey?
We could talk to him, but there's another one I always see on Facebook that he's just wild. Nate Barry, I think his name.
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
That
yeah.
dude is
I
just
mean,
funny as shit.
doing all those dancing videos.
Yeah, I'm always watching his stories. It cracks me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude from New Zealand did
pretty top five.
pretty good too. I think the Radic.
So we 100%
there's the
confirmed
picture.
Duff's retiring.
From
Oh,
full time. I think the interview said from full time. Like, yeah, like exactly.
That's crazy. All right. So my question is, if he's not going to run full time, and if the boat's still going to run, is he going to get his son in there and start getting him up to speed with? I mean, Dustin already knows a lot. Yeah, obviously, growing up with his dad, working on the stuff. But
does a whole lot of winning already too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
knows, right?
but like when we talk to Britain, it takes a lot of skill and different mindset to drive these K boats. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's going to start teaching Dustin how to drive it, and just take over for.
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, I think that's a good idea if Duff wants to realize his son's better than him, like George did when I started driving. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow as a father.
Man,
Boys,
But-
we need.
No, it would be cool.
More.
One more
One
more
We
follower.
We've
One
gained
follow.
five since the start.
Yeah, if you guys
Somebody-
don't follow
somebody
Jason
make
Bales,
one of their
go ahead,
friends.
follow.
Somebody-
This is what I need Theo for.
What do we need one more
Theo's
for?
all- when he goes live,
5,000 followers.
Theo's whole thing when he goes
5,000?
live on here is
Yeah.
he's like, just give me some likes. I don't see no likes yet. give me a comment. He's so funny.
Just one follow.
It would be cool to see those boats run once, though. I mean,
Yeah. Like John Britton said that, or JT said that there's not a lot of K boats left over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It'd
would
be
it
cool
be
if
a
the
time?
K-boat-
Did those Evercrafts come over too early? And is now the time to kind of bring them back?
That would be interesting.
I still think that bad boat classes, it's the future. They're built for cockpits. They're just as fun
Yeah.
to watch. Like can have the
And,
blower
dude, the
motors. Like
course requirements are virtually nothing. You
Yeah.
can
They
race
can
them on a
race on
freaking
anything pretty much.
Right.
anything, man.
Anything we race on.
right.
Oh, easily, dude. They could have raced him at Belleville. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. Stick
Yeah.
4 of 'em
I'd
out
probably
there,
get it.
Burns
I would
are
never
basically
get-
built for 'em.
I don't think I'd ever get into K boat, super stock, any of that stuff, but I'd
No.
probably get in a bad boat. Looks like
I'd
I'd
get in
get,
a bad
myself
boat,
in
yeah.
trouble. It's a little different than a skiff, so I think I'd be okay.
Did you guys
More
ever see
hydro-like.
the video of Duff's
Your
roll?
stuff in that thing.
Which
Yeah,
one?
I seen it today.
The one from like just outside of the turn where he rolled.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Looking at, I'll see if I
Yeah.
can find it, dude. He drove that thing in hard.
It snapped quick. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
all flat bottoms when they do something, generally it snaps quick.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
no
like a
warning.
hydro. It's not like a hydro where it reads you a book the whole straight.
Yeah, I don't think the ones
Garrett.
I've seen, they don't do a whole lot of talking.
Yeah, I was looking. I was like, what's his name? What's his name?
Oh,
But
I told him I would do this. I think we can all agree that he gets the Chase and Tails comeback driver of the year this year, right?
Yeah. What are we just making up awards now?
Hell yeah, we
Shit.
are.
All right.
No,
I'll start
he's
more
still
trophies.
he's still on the shit list for flipping the boat.
Yeah,
I ain't giving
yeah.
him anything. I ain't
Thanks
giving
for
him
taking all
anything.
your
something.
awards away too, Bob.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't care. What awards?
What awards?
Where?
Ain't no mine.
Damn, I don't know who posted that video.
I've never
Let's
won
see if I
anything.
can find it.
Yeah, Ron, I'm sure
Not any
Theo will be
props.
better than me someday too. Jeez, man. That's what you can hope for. All right, get this video up. You said you
I
needed to
did
go
not.
to bed.
I'm trying to find it.
Anyway. So
They got a lot of videos
I-
posted from over there, man.
I think as we're getting to this video, he wants to play. Oh, is Bob doing his song? Oh, we were doing good.
I love how he's talking.
Casting chambers called like a midnight crime. HRL calls it gray, but we all know the line. We got the gray air and blues out here on the lake. Hot rod horsepower, know what you take.
I got the original. Anyone wants it, I'll send it to him. And you gotta do is just
You know,
It's
Bob,
like porn.
you just screwed us. This is part of what people do on social media. They're gonna clip that and they're gonna send it to HRL and they're gonna be like, "Look, they had a music video of you and they were making fun of you." They didn't
That
even
was
say
sent to me.
anything."
that
Like,
was
come
sent
on.
to me.
Like earlier in the show, I feel like we did a real good job. We didn't bash nobody. We just kind of did a bunch of talking. We explained what was going on, and now you done ruined it. Now that clip's gonna get sent out all over about how bad we are. But we'll send them the original.
Are you gonna come take my couch?
Go and take my couch. Certified letter to the couch.
That was
Man.
perfect.
That was.
I'll be sitting on it. You better bring a few guys to lift that thing up. Is he still looking?
Yeah,
That
he's
shit
Logan.
queued up so good.
Found the one, but it's the one where all the fans' heads are in the way.
Just let you know, that's 5 minutes on you. If we go over that time, you're still coming to work tomorrow.
You keep making demands, you ain't gonna see me do shit tomorrow. I'll sit there and tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. So let's see.
I'll repost it on Chase and Tails once I find it. They did a good job with the videos over there, man. Though.
Yeah, like I said, that
There's a
one
video
that
like
the hype thing
every
was
heat.
awesome. I feel like I get lower and lower as the podcast goes on. I need a new chair.
Well, I got. Oh, you're talking about that. I was talking about volume. When I showed up, everyone was loud. I had to reach up, turn my volume down. I was like, y'all are screaming.
I didn't realize now that I can record these custom buttons while we're going. So that's pretty cool.
I don't know where you see all these buttons. I don't even know where you see all these buttons at.
I got a new button box. I got a new toy over here.
Oh, look at that fancy thing. I'm looking on my screen. I was looking on my screen. I'm like, where are you getting these buttons at? I don't see them.
We got some good stuff over here.
Shit.
Oh, you find that video yet?
So, what? Did you just queef?
What's your goals for New Orleans?
Find about the same size mimosas before a meeting that I did in Reno, and yeah,
good plan.
about it.
Let's go. You gonna
Let's
get
go.
those dinosaurs to change some rules?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna make sure I have FaceTime on full volume this time.
Full volume. Yeah, that was the only thing that was requested not to do. So we're definitely doing it. No, man.
It still needs to be live streamed.
I just put Chasing Tails up. We'll go live. You just take your laptop. It's a real simple platform. I'll make sure it's set up so you don't get confused.
We'll be
It'll be
there.
live. It's probably against some bylaws. I still ain't found them bylaws. I got the bylaws in ChatGPT, and it has not found that bylaw that you can't go live for meetings.
Send it.
Say, Kyle, we ain't gonna wait on you no longer,
You
man.
got-
I'm
dude,
ready
you
to
don't
wrap
have to
this
be
thing
waiting.
up. All right,
Do not
folks.
have to.
This was episode 76. We hope you've been liking all the content we've been putting out. We
Thanks
finally
for
hit
following us.
over a million views in a month, so that's real cool for us. Got a ton of engagement. Obviously, if we make a post, please comment on it. We're gonna put a lot of things out, try to get to know you guys, do 5-minute interviews with some of our racers, crews, and all that stuff. That's gonna be fun. Hopefully, we didn't hurt anybody's feelings about these rules. Like we said, it's nothing against teams or anything like that. Just feel like some engine builder took a path too far. We kind of agree with what the series is doing to correct it, and hopefully everything can flow together between APBA and HRL in the near future so it doesn't hurt boat racing. Because at the end of the day, all we're here to do is make boat racing better. We may not always have the best ideals, but usually we talk through them enough that they become the best ideals. So that's it for episode 76 of Chasing Tails. Make sure to check in next week to see news about a brand new T-boat motor being passed. We'll see you next week.